Hello and welcome to Todd Rolls Dice, where we're going to take another look, hopefully a closer look, at the Space Wolves. We know the refresh is coming. That's 9 new / resculpted, wonderfully resculpted models, and you can see a couple of them there. There's the army box that I think is coming out very soon. It should be up for pre-order at some point this month. I'm hoping it's going to be announced on the Sunday preview in the next couple of days. It might not, I don't know. I thought it was going to be last week in all honesty. But we've also got a host of reimagined characters and upscaled Terminators. I mean, I'm so impressed with this. If you've seen any of my other Space Wolf videos, you will know that I have fallen in love with these models. That whole focus on the Nordic, rather than the Wolfman, Teen Wolf, I guess, and moving away from, okay, Thunderwolves I can get behind if they're done properly, if we get whole new resculpts with big wolves, with true scale Space Marines, maybe not riding, maybe have them as it's a pack unit, you've got a wolf and a Space Marine on the same base. I don't know how that would work. Honestly, I don't know. I'm not entirely sure how you could do Thunderwolf Cav within this modern sort of sculpting philosophy that they have for Space Wolves. That's a whole nother question for what I think will be 11th edition, in all honesty, giving you a little hint for what I think is going to go. But this video is more of a follow-up to the last one I did with wild speculation about 20 new sculpts or whatever it was. It was insane. This is a little bit more reasoned, a little bit more thought out, and now we know which characters are getting resculpts and are guaranteed to be sticking around. This is just more of a look at realistically what I think these 20 data sheets is going to be for this faction moving forward for the rest of 10th. I think that they are going to get things in 11th edition. This is a Space Marine Codex supplement, so they will also have access to everything in the current Space Marine Codex within the reason of Space Wolves. They don't get chaplains, they don't get apothecaries. I would hope that they don't get intercessors, assault intercessors. I'll touch on why as we go through. But how about we just jump in and see which I think. So I've gone over, there's 20, we know that there's 20 data sheets. I'm going to give you 18 that I think are fairly certain. Again, I don't know anything, I haven't seen the codex, I haven't seen these data sheets, but this is 18 that I'm pretty sure is correct, and then a couple of others that I'm just rounding out, and I'm hoping you guys in the comments will give me your ideas as well. So which units are staying? Logan Grimnar, obviously, looks incredible. I don't have a problem with Santa on his sleigh. Honestly, I don't think it's a terrible model. It's certainly not the aesthetic that this exudes, but this new model is beautiful. And obviously, he's not going anywhere if he's getting a new model. Same with Njal. I really like this. So the change with Njal here is he's going from Terminator armor back into tactical armor. Don't know how you guys feel about that, you'll have to let me know. I'm only speaking from this model and this new design that they've given him. I think he looks incredible. I also think he's changing armor. They've done it before. I think there was it 3rd edition he was in tactical armor? I think that this is to flesh out one of the HQ leadership-esque roles so he can attach to certain squads who maybe aren't getting anything or aren't getting a named character. And I think that this is just to, one, keep him in the lore and obviously as a unit because they don't want to lose any of these big named characters. But I think that this is more to stick him in with Grey Hunters, stick him in with Blood Claws, and it just adds a little bit more diversification for named characters leading units. But stunning model, obviously not going anywhere. Jack Rockfist. Again, he's not going anywhere. He could only be in Terminator armor, and I love everything about this pose. I love everything about this character. That face, that beard, throwing the hammer. I know it's cliche, I know it's cheesy, but it's also so cool and so Nordic. But the fact that they've modelled him with the gauntlet and the hammer having the teleport Homer on it, I love this. I absolutely love this model, and I'm looking forward to picking him up down the line. Same as Ragnar. Again, I don't think you can get rid of Ragnar. He's been around for as long as Space Wolves have been around, I think. Really nice model. It's about 5 years old now, so it's not the newest, but there's nothing wrong with it. I think it looks great. I think it does exactly what it needs to do. It has the great pose. It fits the aesthetic that they've been building into, and he's not going anywhere. Wolf Priest, we know that this is coming. Some beautiful heads coming with it as well. Stunning model. And this is going to be your apothecary chaplain all rolled into one model. So again, leading a unit of Bloodclaws or Grey Hunters, and hopefully has some really cool different rules. But this is a new character, so a new data sheet, and I think that effectively this is taking the place of Ulrich the Slayer, which is a shame. I'd love Ulrich to stay, and you could make an argument that he will, but I think that this is going to take that role for now. Wolfguard Battle Leader, we know that this is the lieutenant or lieutenant level squad leader. Again, just looks great, completely rocking that Nordic space warrior. Another thing I wanted to do with this video, as we're sort of getting closer to release and learning more, I thought we'd touch on wargear options for units and non-named characters where we have an idea. So it's pretty obvious that he comes with Thunder Hammer and Power Sword Axe. It's power weapon. They've rolled everything in to just be power weapon, which I think is just ridiculous. One of the things I hate about 10th edition is how sterilized it's become with wargear. But we know that the options are there. We haven't seen the power axe, but I would expect that you can build him with a power axe regardless, because there's so many power axes in these kits. But I would hope that he comes with a power axe. He also has his storm shield. We know he has a plasma pistol. I think he's going to have a bolt pistol as well. We haven't seen that modeled, but I think a fairly standard option for any Space Marine model at this point is having a bolt pistol on their profile, so it's probably there somewhere. Head takers, these are taking over from the current Wolfguard. They're going to be a 3 to 6 man squad. They come with Fenrisian Wolves attached to them as well. Now I think still Fenrisian Wolves are going to be a separate thing. We'll touch on that later. Weapon wise, I think we've seen everything. Power weapons, storm shields and heavy bolt pistols. The sergeant or the wolf pack leaders that are the sergeants of these squads, they may get plasma pistols, they may get neo-volkites, I don't know, but I think that that is pretty much the Blade Guard option. And I'd love that you get these but you don't get access to Blade Guard. I think that that would be a really nice way of bringing back some individuality to some of these Space Marine chapters who are just feeling very sterile with the whole Primaris thing. I think Blade Guard, certainly for Space Wolves, and this is where I really think they can play with these profiles. I don't think Space Wolves need Blade Guard if they've got these. This is going to be your Blade Guard, you don't have access to a standard Blade Guard. If they get the rules right, if they can write them fun, I'm okay with that. Bloodclaws, we know that these are coming, beautifully refreshed unit. They're running around with bolt pistols and chainswords, fairly similar to their current profile. They are going to be losing options though. Their leader can take a plasma pistol and a lightning claw, probably a power fist as well I think, and then a power weapon. I think this is basically your assault intercessors, and they will take the place of assault intercessors within your battle line options. Let's take a look at their current card. So you can take your pack leader and then 9 to 14 Bloodclaws. There's no way you're going to be able to take 15 models in a unit, so they're going to be knocked down to probably a 5 to a 10 man squad. I'd be interested if they lock it at 10, but I don't see it. But they're going to be sold as a 10. Pack leader can take power fist and a power weapon. I think that those options will stay. Plasma pistol, we know that that's staying. What will disappear, sadly, is the flamer, grav gun, melter gun and plasma gun options. I just don't think the kits are going to have it. And the Primaris stuff, I hate the word Primaris. I hate this differential between Space Marines, like Firstborn, and then Primaris. A Space Marine should be a Space Marine. Shouldn't be that hard, but we haven't seen any of them outside of Stern Guard with special weapons that they can take in a squad of this capacity. So I think it's gone, which is heavy intercessors, but again they're a whole different thing, aren't they? But I think these are just going to be your assault intercessors, and it's bolt pistols, chainswords all the way for the core of the unit. Grey Hunters, similar thing again. They're basically just going to be the intercessor's replacement, much like they are now. We know they have bolt carbines, which sound pretty nasty. They've got chainswords as well. Leader, again, I think power weapon. I think there'll be a plasma pistol in there as well. Potentially a power fist or a lightning claw as well. We don't know, we haven't seen. But like I say, they're basically going to be intercessors, and you will not be able to take a flamer, a grav gun, a melter gun, or a plasma gun. I hate this. I hate not being able to take special weapons. Tactical squads were peak Space Marine. I don't know why they needed to change it. It feels bad. But I still think your pack leader is going to get some sort of upgrade, and definitely that plasma pistol there as well. So squad-wise, I think it's going to be the same. You're going to have a 5 to a 10-man unit, and they're just going to replace the intercessors, which is no bad thing. This is what one of the big things I've fallen in love with Space Wolves is that they have identity. They have an individuality that nobody else seems to really have with their battle line troops, and I just find that fascinating, and I love it. Wolfguard Terminators, again, just stunning. Terminators have had such a glow up. I just can't find fault with any of the new Terminators, from the new starter box, the Leviathan box, with the new standard Terminators, Deathwing Knights, incredible kit. And these guys, again, I just think they're another step up. Absolutely stunning. So we can see there, Sergeant can take Twin Lightning Claws. He can also take the Relic Great Axe, which we saw. We know that they can take Storm Bolters. They can take power weapons. They can take the Storm Shields as well. Assault Cannon, I think we may get a heavy flamer in there as well. In the standard Terminator box, they can take a heavy flamer instead of the Assault Cannon. I think that is going to ring true with this as well. Have a quick look at the data card. It's going to be the same unit size, I think. I would be surprised if this went down to a 5-man squad, but you are going to be losing some options here. So it does say that any model can have their weapons replaced for Twin Lightning Claws. We know it's just going to be the leader that gets to do that. Leader is probably going to lose combi weapon. I don't think these guys are going to have chain fists. I'm going to throw that out there. I think the Thunder Hammer's gone as well, but I do believe they will have that Assault Cannon, which we know, the Heavy Flamer, and I really do hope that they can take the Cyclone Missile Launcher as well, because that just keeps everything in keeping with Wargear for Terminators, and it would just be a massive omission to not give them that, I think. And I do like a Cyclone Launcher. They're very strong in the game as well, which always helps. So, I mean, we'll see. I think the Assault Cannon model is incredible, but I'd like to see these other options as well. Now, a change from my last video, I actually think the Hounds of Morkai will stay. They're a nice unit. Reavers in general are pretty rubbish, but the Hounds, I think, are actually quite a nice riff on them. They have some really nice anti-psych abilities. Still fundamentally Reavers, they're still in Phobos armor, but I can see them sticking around. I don't necessarily think that their unit will stay as a boxed product, but I think the upgrade sprue will have bits on there to give you everything you need to do them. But I'd like to see Reavers taken away, like bog standard Reavers taken away from Space Wolves, and Hounds of Morkai is just that replacement. But I do think they will stay as a data sheet, and I think that's an easy one for them to keep as well, because we've already seen 9 new sculpts or reimagined units. I don't think we're going to get anything else necessarily, so that's an easy win, and it is already within keeping. It fits, because there's not really anything different with these Space Wolves. It's just an upgrade sprue, and then the normal Reavers, which are true scale, so it all fits the scale that they're going with. There's no weird wolfy stuff on them, so I can see them staying. I think the Stormfang is going to stay. I think that's fairly obvious. They're not really doing anything with flyers at the minute. Maybe next edition, maybe 12th, who knows. I think flyers in general need some love, but I think that, again, this is just an easy data sheet for them to keep. Same with the Stormwolf, because the box builds both. I don't actually mind the design, I quite like them. I wouldn't want to take them over a Land Raider or anything like that, but I think that they just have a little bit of fun, quirky element, and it gives them something different, something more iconic to Space Wolves than just the Storm Talon, the really weird dumpy looking thing that can carry a dreadnought that I just think looks awful. I don't know, I think Space Marine flyers really need a rework. I know that they're fairly new. A lot of them just look naff, don't they? But I think they're staying just because it's something easy to keep and it fits with the current line. It's not too wolfy, it's not too garish. You don't have to take it. It's probably going to be rubbish. Dark Angels got to keep their Ravenwing flyers. I think it's going to be the same for this. Bjorn. Adjacent Murderfang, but there's a big conversation about Bjorn and what is actually happening. Bjorn was mentioned back in January. I think there was a little post or a tease or something about Bjorn the Fell-Handed. Previously in the last video I said I think he gets a new kit, and I think that kit will build both him and Murderfang. I'm going to roll back on that because I don't actually think that that is a realistic option. But I don't think Bjorn is going anywhere. If they got rid of Bjorn, there would be a riot, wouldn't there? His box, and this box also makes Murderfang and the Venerable Dreadnought, that box is now back in stock. Doesn't say much because Thunderwolves are back in stock as well. Thunderwolf Cav. But I think Thunderwolves are going to go. I think that's fairly safe to say. But I think to keep another 3 data sheets, I think this box stays. For now, Codex Space Marines has the Venerable Dreadnought. It hasn't been done away with. It's not a Legends unit or anything like that. So there is still precedence within the army books and within the lore to keep them around. I'd love Redemptor sized Bjorn. Don't think it's going to happen anytime soon. Maybe next edition, but I do not think he's going away. Which also means Murderfang stays. And so does the Venerable Dreadnought. I don't think any of these, maybe points, but I don't think any of these data sheets are actually going to change too much. And I think it's just another easy 3 data sheets for them to keep. For now. I still think the Iron Priest stays. The model is plastic. Yes, it's firstborn size 2016, so it's getting a little bit older, but it's not that bad. It's a plastic kit, and honestly, keep that. But if you want it true scale, if you want an Iron Priest to fit your army size with all of these wonderful new models, you could buy a Primaris Tech Marine and just wolf him up a little bit. But I do think at some point we're getting a new Iron Priest. I don't think it'll be now, and because of that, because I think they're still such a different, unique thing for Space Wolves, but it's a unit that should stay, I don't think they get rid of the data card. And it would be, you know, you've had your big refresh. What we're going to do next edition? Oh, Space Wolves, you're going to get 1 new character model. It's an Iron Priest for 11th. That's all you're going to get, but you're going to get a new Iron Priest. I think it's an easy thing for them to update down the line as long as it's still got a data card. That's why I think it stays. Fenrisian Wolves, I think you're going to be able to take them as a standalone wolf unit. We know that they're coming bundled with the head takers. I don't imagine they'd be sold separately, but I do think that there is a way that they could write the rules so that you can just run maybe 3 or 6 Fenrisian Wolves. You'd have to buy the head takers box to do that, which is a little bit scummy, but then it's not the strangest thing that Games Workshop have ever done, is it? And I just think with how they've worded it, I know they didn't specifically say Fenrisian Wolves can act independently as a separate unit. They were just talking about them fighting independently to the head takers. But I just think having some element of wolf from Fenris with the army it's so core to the Space Wolves feel. And the new wolf sculpts look fantastic. I think you'll be able to run them on their own in a smaller unit, but still, I don't see them actually getting rid of the data card. They may not have a set individual box for just wolves, but I think that data card stays. So what's gone? I think Ulrich is gone. And I think that new Wolf Priest is the placeholder, and at some point down the line we get a new Ulrich the Slayer. He was in the was it Fangs? I think it was called. There was a Hammer and Bolter episode from back in 2021, I think it was. I had Njal, Ulrich and Crom all talking about the initiates that they had sent out in to get fangs from various monsters on Fenris. Quite a fun episode, actually. But I don't think... I mean, you could make an argument that he stays. This is the problem. His model is firstborn scale, but it's still a very nice model. There's some really nice detail on there. It's plastic. It's from 2016, same as the Iron Priest. I think you can make an argument that he stays. This is part of the problem with this. But I also don't imagine that he stays. As a character, he stays in the lore, and I think that at some point down the line in the next 3-5 years, they bring him back so he has a new true scale model. So for this cull, I think Ulrich is gone, but I do think he will return, and I do think he is still going to be a staple in the Space Wolf lore moving forward. Lucas the Trickster, apparently he's gone before and come back. I just think he's gone. His model is... I was just checking to see if Lucas the Trickster was fine cast resin or plastic, and he's gone from the store. This is Friday the 9th of May. I think that further points to Space Wolves going up for pre-order this weekend, honestly. But Lucas is gone, so he's definitely gone. Crom Dragon Gaze, I think he's going to go as well. I believe that he's plastic, but he's from 2013, I think. And I think he goes. He may be reimagined and brought back down the line. I don't know. I don't know how big a character he is in the current Space Wolves lore, but I think he's a cool model. I do actually quite like the model, but I think he's gone. Wolfguard Battle Leader in Terminator armor, I think much like the Deathwing got culled with their special sergeant character that you could build out of that kit, I think Space Wolves are going to get that same treatment, sadly. So while we've got beautiful new Terminators, I don't think you're going to be able to build a Battle Leader in Terminator from it to use with this data card. And honestly, it's an easy data card to get rid of by rolling it into the Wolfguard Terminators. Wolfguard Pack Leader is an odd one, and I'll touch on why later on because I think one of the variants will stay, but with Jump Pack, I think that they're gone because I think that Skyclaws are gone. And again, Wolf Pack in Terminator armor. For now, I don't think we're going to get any non-named Space Wolf Terminator armored HQ. I just don't see, right now, a custom Space Wolves HQ character in Terminator armor being released. Wolfguard, while they're not gone, they've just been reimagined as the head takers. So unit size will change dramatically back down to that Blade Guard 3/6 level, and the new head takers just replace them. Longfangs, I said we were going to get new Gravis sculpts and they were going to be beautiful. I think Longfangs are gone. I really want Devastator squads to stick around. I would love them reimagined and being able to take and swap out different heavy weapons and do cool things with them. And just have a squad that isn't all the same weapon. As a rules philosophy, Games Workshop wants to keep things simple. If you can have a unit that all has plasma guns, all has melter guns, all has las fusils or whatever, it's easier to keep track of, and I get that completely. I mean, I think there is a future where Devastator squads, and in conjunction with that, Longfangs do come back. I don't think it's this edition. I'd love Longfangs. I would happily just run a load of Longfangs, but I think they're gone. Skyclaws, you've got brand new Jump Assault Terminators. I don't know if we're going to get Vanguard Veterans. I would hope so down the line, but I think for now, these guys are gone. There isn't a Jump Pack unit that can take any kind of real gun. They're all just bolt pistols and things. So I think as a concept, Skyclaws may still be there for people who want to model them. You could model Jump Pack Assault Intercessors as Skyclaws with some of the upgrade stuff. As a unit, I think it's dead. Harold Deathwolf. I believe that Harold Deathwolf, I was going to say I believe he's resin, but he's also not on the store. He's been got rid of, so he's definitely gone. And Canis Wolfborn, he's resin, he's gone. Wolflord on Thunderwolf. I think that there's a real lack of a Wolflord in what we've seen, and I don't really know what's going to happen because there should be Wolflords. It makes sense, and if you don't want to run characters, you're going to need a Wolflord equivalent. But as a concept, I think for this edition, moving forward for the next 12 months, maybe however long in 11th, I think Thunderwolves are gone, which would mean the Wolflord is gone. I talked about that in the other video. Anything under Thunderwolf, I think is gone. I really do hope that they find a way to bring them back. Thunderwolf Cav is gone. Wolfen, I think, are gone. I think that as a unit in Space Wolves and as part of the lore, I actually really like the idea. I just think the execution of this kit hasn't worked, and it feels like they have really stepped away from the Wolf vibe. I hope we get Wolfen back at some point. I hope that they sort of show up as some sort of special shock troop. Maybe it's just a 5-man unit, and I don't know. I'd like to see them, but I'd like to see them in a much more, I was going to say realistic way. I mean, I don't know. I don't even know how you design something like this to fit with a slightly darker theme. I just think that they look naff. So, I mean, anyway, I think that they're gone. Yeah, I'd like to see them come back. I just don't know how they'd do it. But for now, they're definitely gone. Same with the Wolfen Dreadnought. It doesn't even have a model anymore. So, yeah, it's definitely gone. So over to the maybes. I think the Wolfguard Pack Leader stays. He's going to lose so many options that he used to be able to take. I think that the Wolfguard Pack Leader could stay. I think there's a very good argument for it. That would, if you're looking at my list, I'm currently at 18 definitely staying. I think there's a strong argument for this. The Space Wolves Combat Patrol has disappeared from the website as well. This model has gone with it, but I actually think he will be released on his own. We know they've done it before. It was an individual sprue It's quite a nice kit. It fits the aesthetic that they've gone with for this refresh. I think there is a world where the pack leader stays, you get this model and he can run around with Bloodclaws or Grey Hunters and he just gives you some little buff or something, but he's not quite lieutenant level. But I can definitely see it. Cyber Wolves, while I think that they're gone, I think you can make an argument for it. I believe that they're resin, so it would have to be a reimagined and rebuilt unit in plastic. Well, having said that, I've just talked myself out of it because the head takers, the wolves that come with the head takers, have some little cybernetic bits, but they're not overtly cybernetic. No, they're not a maybe, they're gone, aren't they? Cyberwolves are definitely gone, and there's probably an element of them. I know that they have a 6-up invul. Maybe that's been rolled into the Fenrisian Wolves, and they've just taken the 2 data cards, turned it into 1, potentially. But I think that they're gone. I think that they're gone. Wolf Scouts. So this is a Valrak one. Most of you will probably know Chapter Master Valrak, the font of all rumours and leaks. He's usually right with what he says. I think pretty much all of his predictions for the Space Wolf refresh has been confirmed with what we've seen. He's mentioned Space Wolf Scouts quite a few times. Wolf Scouts are handled very differently to Scouts in Codex compliant chapters, so they're a bit more veteran. I don't think their datasheet looks anything like this, but there's a good chance that they could stay. They could be the 20th datasheet that stays, and we just haven't seen them yet. People have been saying it's a kill team release. I honestly don't think it will be. The last set of Scouts were a kill team release. I think what would happen is Space Marine Scouts datasheet is excluded from what Space Wolves can take, but you can take Wolf Scouts. It's basically the same unit with the same weapon options, and there will be a couple of little elements in the new upgrade sprue that will give them the odd bit of wolfy stuff. Maybe the Scout Pack Leader could take an axe. It's currently got a chain sword. They can take combat knives, and then it's bolt guns, bolt pistols, missile launcher, heavy bolter, and shotguns. I mean, they're definitely not going to give them flamer, grav gun, melter gun, or plasma gun. Maybe they, I don't know. I'm 50-50 on it. I think there's an argument for them to stay just to keep them individual, but I fundamentally don't know how different they would be than the other card. The current Scout data card, honestly. But it would be nice if they stayed. I do love my Scouts. I adore Scouts. I think they're such cool models. I've always loved even the old plastic Scouts, and when you could take 5 sniper Scouts, beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. Love those models. But yeah, I don't know. I think because Valrak said it, I think he's right, and I think Wolf Scouts down the line will be confirmed before the full release, but I don't actually think they're going to get models right now. I just think it's going to be a use Scouts, and that is the Space Wolf variant. Maybe they have different rules just to differentiate them a bit, would be nice, but yeah, I think it's an easy stay for a brand new kit, for a lovely brand new kit, but I don't actually know if they're going to be a new unit. So to recap, who's staying, who's going? So this is the 20 that I think are staying. Logan Grimnar, Nyar Stormcaller, Arjak Rockfist, all brand new units obviously staying. Ragnar Blackmane isn't that old and he already fits the scale, and he's too big a character to lose, much like Bjorn, so he stays. I'm fairly certain, I'm 95% certain that we still have an Iron Priest. Wolf Priest, we've seen it, it's beautiful. The Battle Leader as well. Bjorn, Murderfang and the Venerable Dreadnought, that box just gets repackaged, and for now they're not changed, but they're definitely sticking around. You cannot get rid of Bjorn. Bloodclaws we've seen, Grey Hunters we've seen, Fenrisian Wolves, I think they have their own data card as well. Wolfguard Terminators, Wolfguard Headtakers, Stormfang, Stormwolf, Hounds of Morkai. I think we get a Wolf Lord or that Wolfguard Pack Leader just as an extra non-unique hero model to run with your squads. So I'm leaning towards a Wolf Lord because there isn't a captain level non-unique Space Wolves character. I don't know if it is going to be a new model. It could very well just be there's bits on the upgrade sprue that let you turn a captain into a Wolf Lord, or it is just Wolf Lord, the picture is a Space Wolf captain painted in Space Wolf colours. But I don't know how you can't have a Wolf Lord. Number 20. Wolf Scouts seems to be the consensus. Like I say, Valrak, all credit to him. Everything he says is usually pretty much on the money. Probably Wolf Scouts, but what if? Just what if that final surprise, that one thing that is still waiting, that one reveal, the day before the codex drops and the previews are out there, what if Leman Russ returns? Let me know what you think in the comments. As always, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you all in the next one.